Welcome back, viewers. We begin this broadcast with breaking news from Pakistan. The five-judge Supreme Court bench in Pakistan has assembled. The Pakistan Supreme Court bench, which is to hear the case filed by the opposition parties in Pakistan against the Deputy Speaker's action yesterday, wherein he dismissed the no-confidence motion against the Imran Khan government before voting could take place, and also subsequent to that, on the direction of the Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan, the move by the President Arif Alvi to dissolve the Pakistan Assembly. All the key political parties are at the Supreme Court. They had been issued notice yesterday after the court had taken suo motu cognizance of the entire matter. Aside from that, the opposition parties had also lodged cases over the entire affair, which has led to a case in Pakistan where there is utter political instability. The latest is that Imran Khan, who is now for the moment the caretaker president of the country, the prime minister of the country, and the leader of the opposition, Shehbaz Sharif, are to consult with the president in appointing a caretaker prime minister. My colleague Khalid from Islamabad will be joining us shortly for more updates on the same. But the latest that we can bring to you is, even as the Supreme Court of Pakistan's five-judge bench gets ready to hear this case, the leader of the opposition, that is Shehbaz Sharif, has refused to be a part of any consultations to decide the identity of the caretaker prime minister of Pakistan. These are hectic developments that are going on and continue to occur in Pakistan. We had seen a short while ago how there was a opposition joint briefing where some of the opposition leaders had in fact gone so far as to claim that due to this development, a civil war-like situation could also arise in Pakistan. Right now, the situation is that in the next 3 months, there could be general elections. However, the opposition is trying to forestall that, and that is why the five-judge Pakistan Supreme Court bench has assembled. We have Crispino now joining us from the newsroom. Crispino, what is the latest happening in Pakistan, and especially at the Supreme Court?
Right, what we're also right now are learning of a letter being given by the President of Pakistan to Imran Khan as well as the opposition leader. Now, let's take a look at the letter once again, and you can see here is the appointment of a caretaker prime minister. Let me take you through the details. It goes on to say that Imran Khan shall continue to hold office till appointment of caretaker prime minister and therefore continue to hold office. Now, he says that in case the prime minister and the leader of opposition in the outgoing National Assembly do not agree upon in person to appoint a caretaker prime minister, within 3 days of dissolution of the National Assembly, they shall forward 2 nominees each to the committee to be immediately constituted by the Speaker of the National Assembly. Now, what we are also learning is that Shehbaz Sharif will not be part of this consultation, even as the Supreme Court of Pakistan is hearing the case regarding the ruling of the Deputy
Crispino, we are also, I beg you to stay with us, we are also being joined, Crispino, right now by Major General P.K. Sehgal. Major General Sehgal, if you can hear me, there are hectic developments in Pakistan. What is your analysis of specifically the claim made by the opposition that the decision-making could lead to a civil war-like scenario?
I tend to agree with them, because what is happening in Pakistan at this point of time is absolute and total anarchy and chaos. It is murder of democracy. What Imran Khan has really done is something that is totally unacceptable. What the Speaker has done is something that is absolutely illegal and unacceptable. His prime basis was that there has been a foreign intrigue in the thing. It is an allegation which has been denied by the Americans, and based on that allegation, you cannot say that the no confidence motion is illegal and we will not allow the no confidence motion to go through. This allegation has neither been investigated nor has been proven. Under the circumstances, not allowing the process of law to take place is something that is totally unacceptable. And this is the result. Secondly, Imran Khan gave a call to his supporters that those who vote against me ought to be treated as traitors. And he said, you know what to do to the traitors when they come out of the parliament. In other words, he is himself giving a call for unlawful activities to take place. The Supreme Court has ordered the army to ensure that there is absolute and total security in Islamabad, as well as a security ring put around the Supreme Court. This clearly is an indicator of the fact that the judges of the Supreme Court may not go along with the recommendation of the Prime Minister and its acceptance by the President. President took no time whatsoever without any seeking any legal advice, etc. He
Right.
accepted the Prime Minister's recommendation and dissolved
Right,
the parliament.
absolutely, Major General P.K. Sehgal. I think you've exemplified a number of key points there. At this time, I beg you to stay with us. We are also going across to Khalid Jamil, who's joining us right now from Islamabad. Khalid, the Supreme Court hearing is about to begin or has begun. What is going to happen specifically with the opposition parties also there? Are they all going to speak and answer the notice of the Supreme Court?
Yes, all parties have nominated their consuls, and traditionally, and all the consuls will get the time to speak and will present their argument on their constitutional legal issues. The actual case is this, that the no confidence motion against the Prime Minister was moved in the National Assembly, and it was tabled on March 24th, and as per the rules and the Constitution, before the conclusion of the April 3, there must be a voting on that motion. But on April 3, the Deputy Speaker gave a ruling when the Law Minister, Wad Chaudhry, raised some a serious question in the National Assembly on floor, and he told the floor about the alleged letter written by the ambassador of Pakistan in USA to Foreign Office, which was presented to the Prime Minister, and then Federal Cabinet and National Security Committee meeting was held on that issue, and the National Security Committee also issued a statement, and they expressed concern and called it interference into the national affairs of the Pakistan. With this backdrop, the Law Minister asked the Deputy Speaker, whether
Khalid, that is something we witnessed yesterday, how Fawad Chaudhry stood up and right after he made his inference about there being a foreign conspiracy, the Deputy Speaker dissolved the assembly, or rather he dismissed the no confidence motion. Right now in the Supreme Court, what we are being told is that Babar Awan, who is representing the Imran Khan government, he is stating that this move by the Deputy Speaker was in line with the powers of the Speaker inside the assembly. Now Khalid, a two-part question to you. One is, I believe that the Deputy Attorney General of the Pakistan government has also resigned. Right now there is no Attorney General. So who is in fact representing the government right now, and where do you see this going, that this claim that it was a constitutional step that was taken?
The resignation came from the Deputy Attorney General of Pakistan, which was appointed during the last regime of Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz Sharif. But the Attorney General of Pakistan, Mr. Khalid Javed Khan, is still in his office, and he is pleading. He will plead the case of the Federation, and he is representing the Federation in the court even today. And I think there are two very important questions which is in front of the Supreme Court, this honorable bench. Number one, is it a constitutional ruling and under the Article 5 of the Deputy Speaker, and whether the Supreme Court take up this issue in these circumstances, because under the Article of 69 of the Constitution of Pakistan, the validity of any proceedings in the Parliament shall not be called in question on the ground of any irregularity of proceedings. So it means the Supreme Court of Pakistan and Islamabad High Court and another high courts recently and even in past rejected many petitions which were regarding the proceedings of the Parliament or assemblies. So that's why it's a big question. And yesterday, Chief Justice of Pakistan, that's why asked the Attorney General and the representative of the Federation that they will give argument on this issue and justify the ruling of the Deputy Speaker under Article 5, which deals to loyalty with state. So this is the case, and if the court will satisfy with the argument of the Federation, councils or Attorney General, so then it might be Supreme Court again will give a same direction which was earlier given many times, that courts cannot interfere into the parliamentary affairs and proceedings. And
Correct,
most
Khalid.
probably,
Khalid, but if I'm not mistaken, yesterday when the decision was made in the Pakistan Assembly, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Supreme Court itself that took suo moto cognizance. Even before the opposition parties could move the court showed an interest in trying to resolve this matter, and it also moved to take suo moto cognizance. Now, what specifically is the petition that has been filed based on which the court is acting, or is it continuing to take suo moto action?
If you look at the current political scenario in the Pakistan, there was a risk of clashes between the political workers from the both sides. So that's why court intervened and asked the staff of the Supreme Court to reach the office, even that was an off day, Sunday. And if any aggrieved party came to submit application and to entertain the application, and then in the evening, three-member bench headed by the Chief Minister.
So there's breaking news coming in, Khalid. Khalid, remain with us. There's breaking news coming in from the Supreme Court of Pakistan, where the Chief Justice rather, has said that they want to look into the constitutional legality of the decision taken by the National Assembly yesterday. This is an important observation and statement coming in from the Pakistan Supreme Court, specifically the Chief Justice, who is leading the 5-judge bench, who has said that they want to look into the constitutional legality of the decision taken in the National Assembly yesterday. And also, it's very important to note that the Supreme Court says that it will issue an appropriate order today, Khalid. The Supreme Court of Pakistan says that they will not hear any other matter today. They will appropriately decide and pronounce an order in this matter today. And last but not least, before I ask you once again for your views, the Chief Justice has made a big statement, which is that they do indeed want to look into the constitutional legality of the decisions taken yesterday. So I presume, Khalid, that this is the decision to scrap the no trust motion. Is that correct? Or is it the President's decision to dissolve the Assembly? Which one are we talking about?
I think they're talking about the proceedings of the National Assembly and ruling the Deputy Speaker. That is the important. If the ruling is legal and constitutional, then the entire process after that ruling, the Prime Minister advised to dissolve the Assembly, and President dissolved the Assembly, and then election process has already been started today, when the President of Pakistan wrote a letter to the opposition leader for a consultation and asked him to provide the name for caretaker Prime Minister. So they are talking about the legality of the ruling of the Speaker or Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. They first decide either the court intervene into this proceeding and rule out this ruling or not. I again quote the Article 69 of the Constitution of Pakistan, which states that the validity of the proceeding of the National Assembly or the Parliament or the Subai Assembly shall not be called in question on the ground of irregularities. So there is a question of irregularity or unconstitutional or unlegal act of the Deputy Speaker. So the Constitution of Pakistan says that such things not in any case cannot be questioned in any court. So this is the complex issue, and that's why Chief Justice and judges are asking the counsels of the government as well as the petitioner from opposition parties to give the arguments on this issue, and specifically
Khalid, stay with us. Two more breaking updates, Khalid, I want to update the viewers about. The first is in relation to who will be the caretaker Prime Minister. Now, from what we are coming to know, the PTI party, that is in this case Chaudhry Fawad Hussain, he has stated that 2 names have been shortlisted of PTI leaders to be caretaker Prime Ministers of Pakistan. We know, Khalid, you have been telling us that the leader of the opposition, in this case Shehbaz Sharif, is also to help Imran Khan in consulting the President on who should be the next Prime Minister for the intervening period. But we are told that in 7 days, if the opposition does not give its views, then the PTI leaders will be named caretaker Prime Minister. That's number one. And also we are hearing that if Farooq Naik, who is representing the opposition, he has asked for a full court to hear this matter, and the Chief Justice has rejected this demand. So we'd like to know if you could share some information about these two matters. One is the two PTI members who could be caretaker Prime Minister, and the other is the court dismissing this demand by the opposition for a full court.
Yes, as per constitutional requirement, the consultation between the Prime Minister and the opposition leader is mandatory for the appointment of the caretaker, set up especially Prime Minister. But if the both will not reach on the conclusion, then this power goes to Election Commission of Pakistan, and then in such cases, government side or Prime Minister side gave 2 or 3 names, and at the same time opposition leader also gave 2 or 3 names, and then if there is no conclusion or there is no agreement between the opposition and the government, then Election Commission will pick one name from these nominations from the opposition and the government and announce the caretaker Prime Minister to whom. But right now, it's a bit a different situation.
Right.
The Prime Minister is not
Khalid,
Prime Minister; he is in charge Prime Minister.